Hi, my name's Adam. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for joining us today. Today we're going to talk about extended healthcare, so medical, dental coverage beyond kind of your working years and into retirement. So what are options for you? What makes the most sense? I'm going to run through at the end of this video, near the end of this video, an actual example of getting coverage, how much a typical person might use it, and do these actually make sense? So for a lot of you, when you retire, you might have healthcare coverage at work, covers your medical, dental, that kind of stuff. But as soon as you retire, that ends. And what's the best option? Is it better to pay cash? Is it better to buy a plan? We'll go through that and break it down in this video. So in the video today, we're going to talk about and go through some links here, both with Manulife and Blue Cross. There's different insurance carriers in Canada that offer medical plans outside of your typical work plan. Manulife and Blue Cross are two of the ones that we more closely look at and know off the back of our hands. So we're going to go through those today. But as I mentioned, there's a lot of different options out there, so do your homework. But what we're going to cover off today is just kind of the basics. A lot of the plans are going to look a lot alike. The coverage benefits plan to plan will vary different a little bit. So what you're going to want to look at it, if you're a heavy dental user, you're going to want to find a plan that's going to cover a lot more dental than maybe a typical plan would. Okay, so everyone's got a little bit different what they're looking for. So we'll go through that. All the links that we go through today, I will link below. So, if you want to look at the Manulife plans or the Blue Cross plans, we'll put those links below. So everything that we cover off in this video, you can find those links below. So for a lot of you that watch our videos, the default kind of healthcare plan option will be to continue with your work plan. Okay, so a lot of you work for the government or for a company that has a good work plan that allows you to continue coverage, especially for those of you that have defined benefit plans. A lot of the times, if you take the ongoing pension payment within your defined benefit plan, it also includes with it healthcare coverage. Okay, so if that's the option for you, a lot of the times that healthcare option is very minimal cost. So $100, maybe $200 a month. It makes a lot of sense to do that. Okay, so if you're heading into retirement and your employer gives you the option to continue with coverage, you're going to want to look at two things: A, the cost, and B, what type of coverage. So is it the same coverage that you've had up until this point while you've been working for the company? Usually it is. Sometimes it's slightly different. Okay, so you want to check into that. Okay. The other thing that a lot of people don't think about with healthcare coverage is most plans will have a lifetime maximum. Often it's 100 grand. The most common that we see is 250,000. Sometimes it can be higher. Okay. So if you've worked for a company for, let's say, 25, 30, 35 years, how much of that 250,000 have you used already? Okay. Let's say you've used 150,000 of coverage throughout your 35 years working, which could be the case depending if you have, expensive prescriptions or something like that. Okay. If you've used 150,000 already, that only gives you another $100,000 left if you have a 250 maximum for the rest of your retirement. So make sure you look into those lifetime maximums. If you continue with the same plan, does it use the coverage you've already used to that point? You may only have a small window left as far as how much you can use in retirement. So that's just one thing. If you continue with your work plan, be aware of lifetime maximums. And of course, look if the coverage is the same, and then also the premium. In general, if you're paying kind of under that 300 mark per month per couple, or under about the 150 or 200 for an individual, that's probably a decent rate as long as you can continue with a good coverage plan moving forward. Now, for the majority of you that don't have coverage at work or a work plan that would cover you past retirement, and that's for the majority of you, the people that have defined benefit plans with continued healthcare coverage, it's your government worker or big corporation. And most of you don't fall into that. A lot of you do, but most of you don't. So what are your options? Okay, you retire. You may be on a prescription. You may have some dental stuff you need to get done. There's medical costs as you get into retirement. And I know that's one thing that our clients often bring up with us. Like, Adam, this is great. The retirement numbers make sense, but what happens with healthcare and dental costs? Okay. So the first thing you want to check, and we'll put the link below, is what kind of medical coverage you have in your province. So in BC here, we have Fair Pharmacare. And Fair Pharmacare is basically a deductible healthcare system where once you've spent so much money, and it's all dependent on your income. So if your income's 50,000, once you've spent X amount of money, then they'll pay for 75%. Okay, so there's a deductible. Once you've spent the next limit, they'll pay for 100%. Not everything is covered under Fair Pharmacare. So in your province or territory, check what kind of the provincial healthcare coverage is. Again, it'll be based on your income. So if you make X, here's how much you got to spend until we start kicking in from our end on the government side. So that's the first place to check. It's kind of Fair Pharmacare in BC or whatever you have in your province or territory. So with regards to provincial healthcare coverage, we'll do a separate video on that. Okay, so we'll do that here in the near future, but check into it. Again, in BC, we have Fair Pharmacare. You will have some sort of additional coverage once you hit certain limits based on your income in your province. So check out what that is. Again, we'll do a future video on that will cover it all in more detail. So I just want to share my screen here now. So this is kind of one of the options. So when you leave your work plan, this would be one of the options that you could look at. And this is a Manulife. So this is Manulife. They have two different plans, okay? So when you leave a work plan, if you have, or if you're taking any medication, so if you have some health issues and you're taking medications, your typical health and dental plan will be underwritten, which means that they're gonna ask you medical questions. And those questions will be, are you on any medication? And if you are, you're going to get declined or that medication will be omitted from any coverage, okay? So if you're on an expensive medication, obviously any plan that you move forward with, you want to make sure that that medication is going to be included within your plan, okay? If that's the case for you, you want to, with Manulife, it's called Follow Me. So basically it's a plan that follows you from your current employer, okay? Premiums are roughly the same. They're a little bit more premium, but pretty much the same as a standard plan, but the coverage is a lot less. And I'm going to go through that here in a minute and kind of show you online what that looks like. If you're not on any current medications, have no health issues, you're going to want to apply for a fully underwritten plan. And they're going to ask you all the medical questions and go through to make sure that, you're a good risk for them essentially, and you qualify for the plan. If you can qualify for those plans, again, they're a little bit cheaper, but they cover a whole lot more. So if you have no current medical conditions or are not on any medications, I would highly recommend going for an underwritten plan. They're going to ask you some medical questions up front, personal questions, that kind of stuff. But again, if you get approved, you have a much better coverage, a lot more benefit for a bit less money. So obviously that's a win-win. So let's jump into the different differences between kind of a Follow Me plan with Manulife and what's called FlexCare, which is their standard health and dental plan. So on the screen here, you'll see this, and again, we'll link this below. So if we click 65 and over, a lot of our clients are 65 and over, but you can go 65 and under, it won't matter. And you can choose your different province here. So if we go under 65, let's say Ontario, and I want to compare both the FlexCare to the Follow Me, okay? So if we link down here, you can see you can choose different plans, and I won't go through each plan individually, but the Combo Plus Enhanced is the best FlexCare plan, and that's the medically underwritten plan, okay? Now I want to compare that to the Follow Me Premier, which is the best Follow Me. So if you have some medical issues or you're on medication, that's the plan you want to go for, okay? These are kind of the premier plans. So again, drug coverage, okay? On the underwritten plan, you're covered for 90% for the first 2,222, and then 100% after that, up to 10,000 a year. You can see if you're on some medication, they're going to cover you, but only 80% up to $2,600. Again, if you're on a medication, this may make sense still for you, but huge difference in overall benefit. Dental coverage, 100% for the first 500 and 60% of the next 700. On this side, you're 80% up to 100 in year one, and then it goes up to 1,000 in year two. So a little bit different again there. Vision, you actually get a bit more with the Follow Me versus the regular. Going forward, one other thing you're going to want to look at here, and you can click on here, it'll give you more detail. Again, it goes through more detail on the major versus basic dental, vision care, what's covered, what's not. With your chiropractor, massage, all these registered specialists that you go to, most plans are going to cover a maximum per visit. So if you go get a massage and it's $120, they're only going to cover you for $25 per visit. Now they're covering you for a lot of visits here, 20 visits, but again, you're limited on how much per visit that you're covered for. Okay, one thing with the Follow Me plan versus the regular plan as well is that there's no maximum, okay? There's no lifetime maximum, okay, for registered specialists. So there's a bit of a difference between the two plans. So again, every plan's different. I could spend 2 hours going through the plans and the nitty-gritty of each one. I think if you're considering retirement soon and think you might need some healthcare coverage, look into these different options. Again, links below, click on them. If you're on medication, go to the follow me, and we'll cover the Blue Cross here in a second. Okay. Again, you can look through all the dental, vision, everything that's covered on here. Okay. So again, you want to go through each one to see which one's going to make the most sense for you. Okay. And you can price it out here, look at more detail, and you can actually click get a quote right here, put in your information, and get a rough idea what it's going to cost you. Okay. Now, if we jump over to Blue Cross, similar idea. Their health and dental Blue Choice is their underwritten plan. Okay, that's if you're not on any medications, that's the route you want to go. If you're on medication, you want to go to this group coverage. Okay, so that's basically that says uninterrupted coverage when leaving an employer-sponsored group plan, i.e., you're retiring. There's no medical questionnaire, no waiting period, and if you're on some medication, it's going to give you coverage around that medication. Okay, so again, there's lots of options, and I'll actually show you here. This is the Manulife Flex Care pricing guide. Okay, every single price here is a different coverage option for a different age group. And again, all of these plans are going to be priced based on age, and usually it's kind of 5-year window. So every 5 years, it's going to get a bit more expensive for coverage. Okay, some of these plans, the Flex Care plan with Manulife, will give you some travel insurance up to age 70. So there's all these other benefits. So again, click the links below. You can kind of read through and do your research on what plan kind of makes the most sense for you. Okay. Again, every plan will make different. You can buy a base plan and do a top up with like dental and that kind of thing, or vision if you need more vision. So you can really customize these plans to fit your need. Okay. So that's kind of step one is figure out what's out there, what makes the most sense. Step two is once you figure that out, let's price it out. Okay. Does the price you pay, the premium you pay on a monthly basis, is it offset by the benefit that you're getting? Okay. And anyone would say, well, it probably doesn't, because these insurance companies are in the business to make money, not to lose money, which is absolutely true. But let's actually break down. For a lot of you, it's not going to make sense. For some of you, it will. So you really need to figure out what type of coverage you need and then price it out to see, that is a benefit going to offset the cost. Okay. So let's go through that right now. So I'm going to run through 2 quick examples, and this is with the Flex Care for a 65-year-old couple, okay? So the monthly premium is going to be $339.80, so about $340 a month, or just over $4,000 for the year. That's going to be your premiums that you have to pay, okay? And again, you get a different list of coverage, but we're going to use some assumptions here on how many claims or how much money you're going to spend throughout the year. So we've said medication, this is combined. So medication, you're going to spend $2,400. Dental, $1,000 on major and $1,000 on basic dental, $500 on vision, $200 on orthotics. You're going to go to the massage 5 times at $100 per visit. You're going to go to chiro at $50 per visit. You're going to go 10 times. And physio, you're going to go 10 times at $50 per visit. Okay. So of that, if you did that, $2,400, $2,000 on dental, $500 on vision, $200 on orthotics, $500 on massage, again, that's 5 visits at $100, $500 on chiro, $500 on physio, the benefit that you will get back. So if you make all those claims through your health coverage, you're going to get back $5,035. So you've spent just over $4,000, you've gotten back just over $5,000. Obviously, that's a benefit. You're getting $1,000 of benefit by having that health plan, okay? There's obviously peripheral plans. If you have an emergency, if you go on a medication that you're not really expecting to go on, obviously having a healthcare plan is going to be hugely beneficial. That's obvious. Again, lifetime maximums. We've had some clients go on $20,000 a year medications. Obviously, you might hit those lifetime maximums fairly quickly that way. So be aware of that. So there's peripheral benefits. Again, there's travel insurance covered on some of these plans up to age 70. Okay. If you do a lot of traveling, that could be beneficial. Travel insurance can get very expensive as you get older, okay? So again, look at all the benefits that are included in the plan. Price it out backwards for you, okay? Everyone's different. How much you spend on medication, on dental. A lot of you don't do chiro, physio, massage, that kind of stuff. Those things aren't a benefit to you. So how much are you paying for that within the plan, okay? Price this out. Let's go through one more example. I think maybe a more realistic example to give you an idea of, do these plans make sense? So this is the same plan, again, the Manulife Flex Care Plus Enhanced. So it's $340 a month, just over $4,000 a year for the couple. Again, meds are the same, $2,400. They spend $600 on dental, so just a couple cleanings in the year, $200 on vision, and then they go to the massage 10 times at $100 a pop, and chiro 10 times at $50 per visit. So if that was mapped out, $2,400 medication, $600 dental, $200 vision, $1,000 on massage, again 10 visits, and $500 on chiro through 10 visits as well, what you're going to get back is $3,460. Okay, you've spent over $4,000, you're getting back not quite $3,500. Obviously, that doesn't make sense. Okay. Now, every year is going to be different with your health and dental and vision and all that. I get that. It's not kind of a set expense throughout time. So you have to really do some guesstimating. The cost of these plans will also go up, not just with your age, but with inflation. Okay. We get notification every single year from these insurance companies saying, you know, the price is going up $1 or $2 or $3 this year. Okay. They will continue to go up. Health coverage or healthcare costs will continue to go up as well. Okay. There's a lot of factors that come into it, but at the end of the day, I want you to know there are options. Okay. Again, you may have a defined benefit plan where you can continue on with coverage. Make sure to look at that. You know, if you have no coverage, which is most of you, look at what are your options out there with Manulife, with Blue Cross, with some other carriers. Again, I would focus on Blue Cross and Manulife. They have two really good plans. They're priced aggressively. They're good companies. They pay well. They pay out well. I know a lot of you may have a bad experience with one of the companies. Look at the other one then. But look at what you need, then price it out, and then kind of break it down to how much would you realistically use it. And you can kind of look at, okay, this is what it's going to cost me. Here's how much I'm going to get out of it. Does it make sense? Again, a lot of these plans you can cancel at any time. So you could try it for a year or two, see if it works for you. If it doesn't, you could cancel the plan, okay? So make sure you take a look at it, break it down. I will say this. We've priced out these plans for probably 100 or more different clients in different situations as they enter retirement. We've sold one of these plans over time, okay? So for 99 people, it made no sense. For one, it did, okay? Again, it doesn't make sense for most of you when you break down the numbers, but I think you have to do the work of breaking down what plan you need, what it's going to cost, and realistic how you're going to use it. And does it make sense? Again, it may make sense for you and it may make a lot of sense for you. So make sure you break down the plan, the cost, the benefit, and make sure at least when you make that decision of, no, I'm not going to go forward with the plan, I'm going to pay cash out of pocket for these things, you know that you've done your due diligence and the homework to make sure that that's the right decision. So hopefully this opened up your eyes to options that are out there. Again, Blue Cross, Manulife have great coverages. If a coverage plan makes sense for you, check out one of these two options. Again, there's two differences. There's if you're on a medication or have some health issues, you're going to want to get a policy that kind of follows you. There's no medical underwriting. If you're healthy on no medication, but you want plan for the future, then you want to go for an underwritten plan. You're going to get more coverage within that, and it's going to be a little bit cheaper as well. So those are kind of the two options. Again, figure out what one's the best for you, build out the plan, look at the cost of that plan, and then offset it for how much you'll use it to see if it's actually worth buying it in the first place. Again, there's peripheral stuff like the travel stuff. You may go on an expensive medication down the road. All of that comes into play as well. But again, we'll put the links below. Check out their website. There's lots of information on there. You can quote on there if it makes sense. If you find a plan that makes sense for you, reach out to a local agent to get the policy in place. A lot of them you can apply right online. So again, we'll put those links below. Hope that helped you out with those the health medical. But I will say, for most of our clients, they are paying cash out of pocket in retirement for healthcare. So I know that's the norm. I've talked to other advisors, other people out there that are retired, and that's kind of the norm out there. But again, there are plans there. Take a look into it, do your due diligence, and make sure you make the right decision for your retirement. So thanks for joining us in this video. We're going to see you in the next one.